Hi, Boan. Welcome to Mira program, STV. Today we are continuing from the last episode, which we stopped with Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Mr. Chris, I will put this way. Now, if you take a cake, I'm going to give you a different kind of explanation. Maybe you are wondering what I'm going to talk. It's a nice cake with icing. It's having some cherries and all these decorations. Someone take the cherry out, someone take the icing out, and finally you will have just a piece of bread. So it's the same thing happening. The two operators, online travel agencies, local agents, ground handlers, foreign agents, because some instances the agents are there in the UK as well as Sri Lankan representative, in between the ground handlers. A lot of people are involving and a lot of people are taking your icing and all the cherries and things like that. Finally you will just have just some bread, piece of bread. This is really happening in the industry. So that's my example. So the real situation, from your room charge, maybe it's 13,000 rupees, maybe 14,000 rupees. Finally, you will get some peanuts. What do you think? What is the reason exactly? And can't we illuminate then have the something significant to the average daily rate or revenue per available room or revenue per occupied room? I mean, REPA. What do you think, Chris?
Okay, it's a very good topic that we are going to talk now. It's like, as you told, in the other words, you are telling me that you do the business, you do the hotel business, and the benefit goes to some other person.
Yes.
So this is what you are trying to tell me. So indirectly you are telling me that the travel agents or the OTA, they charge high commission. And they take the credit and they sell your hotel. Okay, they sell your hotel in one or another. And also you get the less profit margin because of the commission that you have to pay. So what you can do is you have to think differently how you are going to market your hotel without going to the travel agents or without going to the OTAs. So this is what we have to think in nowadays, even after now the post-COVID period. You have to think how you are going to sell your product. Are you going to depend on your travel agents still? Are you going to depend your OTA booking engine still? Or else what you're going to do, you're going to take your own way. As we all know, so there is certain things that you can do, right? So there is certain things that you can do to avoid the OTAs, avoid the travel agents, and get your, still you can do the marketing for your targeted clientele. That is okay. First you have to identify your clientele. That is, maybe your clientele is millennials, that is below 30. If you're targeting that crowd, okay, you have to capture them in different way. So always you have to think, okay, don't underestimate the OTAs, what they can do, because they always overtake you. Even if you go to the Google Ads and you just search your hotel, it goes, as you know, it's this thing will come, your hotel will come under OTA. So where your original, what do you call this, your hotel website will far below from where the OTAs. Okay, so you have to try to bring this up as much as possible. That's what it's always, we say that you use the GDS maximum as possible and use the social media as much as possible. These are the same topics that we talked earlier as well, and try to give more exposure your product, more advertise your product in a different way. So this is how you can overtake the OTAs and the travel agents.
Yeah, Chris, what I believe is, the role of social media. So then, relating to that, I'm going to ask you the second question. The role of TripAdvisor, because my experience in Sri Lanka is, still the most places haven't been listed in the TripAdvisor. There are some places I can proudly say I listed those places, introduced to the world. Like I can give you ample examples. even the culture, average guest, they don't feel, or they are not educated to write up their first-hand experiences in TripAdvisor. What do you think? I mean, where we are lacking? Because rather than sticking to this Facebook, it's not a proper media to popular or market a destination.
Yeah.
Our website is TripAdvisor. We are as hoteliers. So what do you think the involvement of TripAdvisor, educational process, awareness processes, or at least the request processes from the hotel staff, front office team, GROs, or I mean any other managers? What do you think where we are lacking?
Yes, yes, Darshana. First of all, you have to think. You should know. TripAdvisor is not an OTA. TripAdvisor or Kayak, they are not OTAs. They are just as service providers. They help you to find the hotel, and whoever wants to travel, before they travel, 75% of travelers, they do a research about your hotel. So the best tool they use is TripAdvisor. So unfortunately, unlike in Maldives, it's like in Sri Lanka, they don't pay much more attention for these TripAdvisor reviews.
Exactly.
Yes. So this is, you have to train one staff. This is the time you can do it. You even if you can recruit one staff, one candidate, and train him to do this, to review, to answer these reviews. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's maybe you have to pay him something. It's okay, because the benefit is you answer then and there. Because always you have to take the criticism as a constructive, as you say, as all we believe, you know. So you have to answer if your guest is complaining. Maybe he's not checked out from the hotel. Still, he's in the hotel. But guest write a review in the TripAdvisor and say that I have this experience when I was in Maldives, and say that okay, I'm not happy with this. Your service you provided me yesterday night. I went for a romantic dinner that was not served properly. The food is cold or something like that. So our team, the hotel team, they catch it very fast, and they say that okay, we have to answer when we find out that still the guest is in the hotel. So we talk to them. The guests feel that still there is somebody who looked after me. So this is in Sri Lanka, as you said, it's lacking. So they don't respond immediately. Some hotels they do, but they don't. Mostly they rely on the other reviews. You know, the OTA reviews. They rely on OTA reviews, but not the TripAdvisor reviews.
Yes.
Which is very, very important. Not only the TripAdvisor. Think about Kayak as well. Kayak is doing much more. Same, I think it's very similar to TripAdvisor. Yeah, you're right. We are lacking in Sri Lanka. We have to improve that to answer them quickly and give your best reviews. Get the best reviews from your customer and make it compulsory to promote your hotel.
Yeah, my experience in Maldives, I mean, there's a separate staff who is in charge of social media. Maybe a person who is, very comfortable with Twitter, then comfortable with Facebook and other social medias. But I really believe, as you mentioned, this role is so much important, really important. I mean, if you keep a paid employee, it's giving you a value addition to your staff as well as the destination. So that's kind of thing. So basically, I mean, when you check the clientele or number of tourist arrivals in Sri Lanka and Maldives, do you really satisfied as a general manager who's having this much of experience? And when it comes to 2021, okay, forget about the last 2 years or maybe COVID and due to East attack. I mean, as a whole, let's take the scenario from 1980s and up until 1998. Up until 1998. What do you think?
You mean the tourism growth you're talking about? Yeah. Actually, I would say we are not doing that much of marketing when you compare to Maldives. In year 2018, I had a trip to Thailand. So I went there in Bangkok. So suddenly I saw in a street there was a very big panel, like what do you call that? You have advertising panel. So they advertise about the Maldives tourism in that advertising panel in Thailand in a street. Just imagine, they are not, they don't want to capture this Thailand market actually by that time, because they have enough.
Yeah, they are doing the marketing for some, for some other clients who are visiting Thailand
Exactly,
that time. Yes.
exactly. So that was, I was wondering why they do, I mean, we don't get much Thailand guests to Maldives, no.
Yes, of
Very few. When you take the statistics, it's very few. But I was wondering why they are doing this. So then I realized the thing that what you told me now, it's because the Bangkok city is where most of the tourists, they come to Bangkok city. So they want to capture this market. People who walk in the street, they think, oh, it's Maldives, yeah, my next destination. Because you always have to bug them. You always to give them something to think about. But in Sri Lanka, we are lacking in that. You know, this is what I always tell. In Sri Lanka, we are lacking in advertising and marketing in whole. I mean, I'm not complaining to the present tourism ministry or anything, but this is when you take about even after 2010, we should have done I mean, I'm not saying that they are not doing anything. They do some marketing. I don't know whether they have captured the correct market and they identify the correct market. I don't know that really. So this is what I think. You have to capture the Asian market. I'm very strong in that opinion, in that point, because if you rely on Europe market, if it is not working for you, you have to think about another market. So then you have to go for Asian, South Asian market, Indian, or this Asian market, China, Bangkok, something like that.
I mean, I'm going to ask you some accounting questions. It's my background. What's the average food cost in Sri Lanka?
Average food cost is 35%.
35%.
The food cost. That is a normal food cost in Sri Lanka.
Okay. What's the average beverage cost in Sri Lanka?
It's 25 to 28.
Yeah. Based on your experience, I mean, from the room department or front office department, what's the average GOP, gross operating profit percentage?
Percentage is about 60 to 60%.
And then from F&B department, food and beverage department as a whole?
It's 40.
Yeah. Dear viewers, why I ask this, quick questions from Mr. Chris is there's a reason behind that, because Mr. Chris is a general manager who's having a lot of experience in the industry. If you take Maldives, they don't have natural water resources. So what they do is they use RO plant, it's called reverse osmosis, and they have STPs plants which you convert all these wastage and things like that, and you should have at least 3 generators, and one generator must run 24/7. A lot of expenses, and Maldives is a country 100% depend on imports. Now you can think what I am telling, what my question going to be. Sri Lanka, where we are, why the industry or the hotels, not has been improved, the industry wise, GDP wise, employment wise, why we are suffering?
It's a good question as well, but Darshana, it's like this. Okay, you said that Maldives they have to import everything.
Yes.
Okay, even the staff.
Even the staff.
Even the
yes.
staff. So this is they because it's in Maldives. When you compare to the room rates in Maldives and room rates in Sri Lanka, there's a big difference. Okay, now in the Maldives there is some rooms, even in a local island, they sell minimum $350 per night. Minimum $350 per night. And it's very, when you go to a luxury resort or underwater rooms or underwater concept, you have to pay about $18,000 to $20,000 for one night. So that is the big difference. because their minimum room rate is about $300, $350, and goes up to $20,000. And in Sri Lanka, its average, it's about 20,000. Oh, that means $100. You can go maximum to $250, not more than that.
Not more than that.
Not more than that, because the trend of tourism in Sri Lanka, it's such. And all these things, as you said, okay, the Maldives, they have to do the STP, okay, we do the STP as well. And the water, okay, you have to pay for the water in Sri Lanka. In the electricity, yes, you have to pay for the electricity and the government taxes. And top of that, yearly taxes, sometimes it's killing you. So I have this experience when you go to renew your bar license.
Yes.
So you have to pay different kind of taxes.
Yeah, 1% for the local authorities, that's what you mentioned.
Yeah, that's right. 1% for the local authority as well. Because most of the hotels, they stuck there, because they pay their regular taxes and everything. So ultimately what happens is when you go to this local authority, they ask you, you have to pay 1%, otherwise they are not releasing your approval or your application. So all kind of things, the taxes and things like that insurance also we have to consider, because every hotel have to insure themselves.
Yes.
Because in the Maldives it's not compulsory to do the insurance. I don't know about that.
No, it's compulsory.
It's
because
compulsory,
okay.
okay.
Even the guest, you have to have a third-party insurance, because the food claims will be very much high.
Okay.
Because it's a different topic we have to discuss.
Okay, sorry. So then it comes to in Sri Lanka, that is basically because of the room rate, we have to have this. Okay, the food cost is, and also the food cost is killing in Sri Lanka. Day by day, it's going high. Like what you purchased yesterday, it's not the same price today.
Yes.
It's completely different. You have to adjust yourself. You cannot adjust the room rates accordingly. So you have to keep the room rates because the competition is such. So then, unlike the Maldives, now the Maldives tourism now. According to the February statistics, they have 75 to 80% occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Sri Lanka, we have for last 2 months only 5,600 guests.
Yes.
So Sri Lanka, it's recovering, but it takes some time.
Of course.
And and also the Maldives, it's even though they have to pay all these for all these things as you said, but the room rates, that is, I think, in my opinion, the room rates plays the major role.
Chris, we have come to the conclusion of this discussion today, in this episode. So as the final questions, I'm going to ask you, what I believe is during my educational programs, awareness programs, and even in my paper articles, what I have written, we should do something beyond this traditional tourism. What I have proposed, Ayurvedic tourism, eco-tourism, green tourism, spiritual tourism, then dark tourism, or well-being, not wellness. It's more comprehensive than wellness rather than wellness tourism. So well-being tourism. We have to do something to change this destination and to have our uniqueness, especially with Ayurveda, all these natural resources. We have to do a proper comparative advantage, or simply I can say we have to do a SWOT analysis.
Yes.
Simply. I don't believe it has happened here in a way. That's why I'm trying to do something to the society in my level with the help of STV. So what do you think, Mr. Chris, as the final question? What we supposed to do? What we supposed to do in 2022? Forget about 2021.
Yes. In tourism industry in Sri Lanka, still we are in traditional tourism.
Yes.
When we started we always promote the things that 1,500 years old, 2,500 years old.
Yes.
But we never think about what are the new things that we can do. Okay, still we do this jet ski, water ski, things like that happening in eastern province. So that's true. But also we have to think about another way, like as you said, that well-being tourism is something very important. And also it's a substantial tourism. That is also a very important aspect, because the people, the guests, they love the nature. They come here after they have been in a prison for the last 1 year. Just they stick to their home. They cannot go out. They just want to come out and they want to explore the world. So again, so we have to think about a green zone, unsafe zone, something like that, and make the customer, the guest, feel like you are into more natural, more free, and try to bring them to the locals, to mingle with the locals, talk with the locals, eat with the locals. This is eat the street foods. Don't go to the 5-star hotels every time and sit in the restaurant and eat the same thing. So go to the streets and experience that food. And also the fusion cooking is something very, very interesting. When you make a pasta, when you add some, the Sri Lankan taste into that, you call it fusion cooking. So that is also very important. So make some sort of different, not thinking about in the same frame. Come out of the frame and think what we can do to impress the guests. That is what the Maldives is there.
Yes.
Maldives, the tourism is, they are way high than us, is because of they think, okay.
They involve themselves into the cooking
Exactly.
processes. Cooking classes, even the
cookery
kids.
demonstration.
Yes,
When I used to do,
demonstration,
when I was manager in a hotel in Maldives, I used to do a cooking demonstration every Friday. All the guests, they cannot go everywhere from 11 to 1 o'clock, 2 hours. It's a cookery demo. Their lunch is a cookery demonstration. They come and because think something like that,
Think out of the box.
Out of the box, and take their comments. That is most important, and make them repeat to your resort. Make the memorable experience, heart full of love. Give them, so they embrace this. So this is what really need in Sri Lanka tourism. What I really believe.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris, for participating in this program. Dear viewers, I believe, these 4 episodes with Mr. Chris in Sinhala as well as in English, we discussed something totally different. The reason is I'm an experienced finance person or head of finance, and Mr. Chris, he's an experienced general manager. So we discuss some topics which you never heard regarding the tourism industry, and it's in the deep, or it's in the very subject matters, or maybe theoretical matters. So as viewers, the Mirror program, let's meet in another program with we will discuss some other areas which has been untouchable in the industry. Thank you very much. Ayubowan.